this is going to be it. Map number 3. One of these players is going to end their tournament run here. Is it going to be Tox? Is it going to be Xron? Who knows? But both of these players have been on this stage before. They've been in this position. Again, both players previously in Quake Pro League. It should be a good one. I'm hoping it goes the distance on this one and isn't a blowout either way, Lethal.
Yeah, I hope so. I don't think it is going to be a blowout. I think from the champion picks we've seen so far, it's quite evenly matched. If it was like, I don't know, the Athena versus the Visor or something like that, then I would be a little bit skeptical. If it was the Athena versus a Slash, then it makes a bit more sense here. But, so like I said before, I haven't seen the Galena pick on Blood Comet in quite a while. Visor, we see him now and again. It depends whoever gets Athena first at this stage, doesn't it? Or if Slash is banned or anything like that. But yeah, this should be a very interesting way. I think this is probably a spot for top 12. I'm not 100% on that, but of course we will update you as the bracket goes ahead. But we are almost going into game 40. I'm excited. It is going to be a map number 3 between the likes of Xron and Tox. Let's get it.
Let's go. Live on Tox's POV as he pops the vision right off the bat and secures the railgun, missing with that shot, but does make his way onto the heavy armor eventually. Totem goes down for Xron as well as he picks up the Mega. So not the ideal sides for Xron anyway. Again, I feel that though, as a Galena, you want to try and play towards the heavy side of the map so you can control that while you're getting your totems going. Great rail from Tox there. Xron looking for some damage, but instead eats another rail, and he's just playing peekaboo here. Can Tox find the last rail to try and plant him? A 25 bubble will put Xron over railable range. A little bit hesitant to go for that light armor down below. Instead opts for the one at the bottom of the columns while picking up the Mega. And Tox again! I don't even know how he found that angle. Vision was popped for it, it looks like. Xron is just being relegated to the lower catacombs area here. Rough start.
Certainly is, and I kind of feel like Tox is like sometimes very few people, if not the only ones, to get these really dodgy off angles and just gets away with it just due to the tracking behind him. It's just absolute madness. I was worried about Tox coming into this competition because his tracking wasn't as good as it used to be, but this weekend it's like the old Tox we know and love it. Using that piercing sight, hits the first rail, and Xron's saying, yeah, I'm not having any of that at all. Both items are in sync. But even though Xron has been on the back foot, he is on a decent stack.
And not too bad. Even after the initial damage, all things are relatively okay. Tied at 0 here. Xron yet to fire a rail. Hasn't had the opportunity. A little bit of LG rockets from down below. Tox laying it on thick with rails of his own. 62% as he sends Xron packing towards the heavy armor. That'll be free. Totem in hand, and Xron, worth noting, 2 minutes hasn't really gotten a lot of totems going, and this is the trap that Tox wanted. Big defensive rocket from Xron, keeping him alive. My God, Lethal. That was so clutch and so necessary.
It was necessary. Like, how long has Tox been on the hunt for? For such a long time, trying to chase him down. Finally caught up to him in the end. Xron somehow managed to come back and survive that. And we forgot to mention as well, this is going to be a huge battle for the Hourglass. As you saw on 2 separate occasions, Tox looked underneath rail, which just picked up the Hourglass, and as he was going to drop down for it underneath Mega, already Xron was there going for it. So he knows where the potential chances of Xron and when he's going to position himself, but at the same time, Xron could also throw him off. But he's just outside the TP. Here's that totem dropped. Decides to just barely miss that one rail because he wasn't too sure if to have rockets in hand or not. Does back away. Heavy is still up. Both items are up, actually, funny enough, as both players are looking to prioritise their heavy, but it looks like Tox is thinking maybe not have any of that, but he's still making this decision. Decides to go all the way back, which is an interesting decision in itself, and instead, I love that as well, just reposition himself onto that rail to make him think that he's going to do a fair amount of chip damage if Xron actually did go for the heavy, but he did not, so some big brain plays from both players.
Yeah, I like it, and Xron was really patient trying to track down exactly where Tox was going, potentially cutting off and just letting him make the decision and then taking the fight, but eventually just conceded and went to Mega, and now Tox stuck in a terrible position with the stairwell. Missing rails, Xron landing one of his own, potentially going to push in after maybe one more here, trying to take a peek over the bridge. Heavy is up, but it is absolutely not worth it. And again, Tox doubling back somehow, but now he's stuck, taking one rail, has to fight his way out of this corner. The machine gun damage is absolutely superb. And Xron has the Mega to back up to, so not a huge deal, but very impressed with the way Tox fought his way out of that situation.
Yeah, I do love that play with the heavy machine gun. Of course, the strafe pattern can be quite different, so it's quite harder to hit those rails. And he did equivalent to 1.5 rails anyway, so definitely worked out in his favour. You can see Tox is doing everything he can to basically say, yeah, this heavy's mine, this room's mine actually, the entire map's mine. I just want to have full control of everything. Obviously, he's not had much opportunity going back and forth for the Mega due to the timings of him so far. Tox does back away and always hit that other, or that last rail as Xron was looking towards that Mega. And still not really too much heavy segregation with the items as of yet. Still 0-0 as we're approaching the halfway stage.
Yeah, very measured game from both players. I mean, they know exactly what's on the line. This is the last map of this set. One of these players will end their tournament life here. And Xron has not fired, or has not landed a single cell of LG. He's only fired 15. The LG battle is just not interested in it, Lethal. 50% rail, but very interesting that he hasn't committed kind of to that mid-range fight.
Yeah, for the majority of it, I kind of feel like Tox has been the aggressor and Xron's not really... I wouldn't say have an opportunity to use the LG, but he's always been in rocket kind of rail territory, hasn't he? And now we're going to see... He's a grab out using that piercing sight, goes back to his favourite little corner. Oh, the heavy machine gun damage again, 135 damage. And needs to try and stop him before he gets to any of his lights. And I love this already. Already in that position to see if he does cross over that bridge, which he does not as of yet. He's going to side off the back around. But Xron's going to be scared of Tatty. He's going to be worried. And he's just checking to see if there's any totems above. But it seems like Xron wasn't ready for him to make that approach.
No, and Xron has run out of rail slugs, and he needs to re-up immediately if he wants to try and keep that long-range battle going. Tox using rail or heavy machine gun, as you mentioned, and getting a lot of mileage out of it. There's a great rail, 70 HP. Totem goes down, and right after that, doesn't even matter. 25 bubble boosts him back up to 35, 60 after the second. Another light armor, but Xron is in a bad way. He's going to go up the jump pad, and luckily the Mega is waiting there for him. But Tox still laying it on thick, just missing out on that rail. That would have been the first frag of the game and put him in the lead. Tensions rising here as Xron on the back foot, up against the ropes, totem down to boost back to 100, but still no armor in sight.
And Xron knows exactly how aggressive Tox can be, so he's just being extra vigilant. The decisions he's going to make directly above him here. Xron still can't take this fight. He's not going to be able to engage or take many of these fights for quite a while until he can fully recover. But it seems like every single time Xron is close to his base stack, Tox just puts a stop to that every single time with the amount of raid damage he's put in. And again, once more, after pick up the Mega, I think it's not just that, it's not that Tox is struggling to catch him, it's more Xron's defense is so good. He knows to read what Tox is potentially going to make. Hits that first row. Are we going to see the first frag in 7 minutes here? 14 doesn't seem like yet, as Tox is going to now go back for the heavy.
This may be the first 35-minute game in the lower bracket or in all of the tournament, Lethal. Yet to be seen. It also could just come down to one frag. We'll take it. Toxic with another great rail. And another one! Totem goes down back to 93 HP, and that's actually the overstack. Xron uses the blood pool for just a little bit.
Oh, no.
And Toxic face-checking some totems. That is absolutely one way to clear those pesky things out.
That is certainly one way or another. Heavy is up though. He's got him in sight. He's just basically trying to mess around with the Qs once again to see if he can throw him off guard whilst he approaches his heavy. And Xron knows, he knows directly above him, knows he's baiting him out for the heavy to get the first frag, but he's just going to say no, thank you for the invitation, but I'm just not going to do it. I don't really fancy it today, and just hasn't really had the chance to go for heavy in a very long time. And items 14 for Xron, and also 14 for Toxic. It's just been a GA in terms of going for these items, but Toxic has been the clear factor of putting on that pressure.
This is amazing. 8 minutes in, 0-0, a chess match between these two. Toxic doing good damage, can't find the crushing blow to put a frag on the board. Xron has been doing an excellent job of hugging the ropes and living off the light armors and totems. But a minute 30 left in regulation for the last map between these two players in the lower bracket. There's one rail from Tox. Misses with the follow-up. Xron unfortunately not landing a retaliation. Tox trying to make his way over to the Mega, making sure that it's clear from the angles here. And Xron really wants to try and do some damage on this one. I think he may have just missed spotting him dropping down to the bottom of the columns, Lethal.
He may have done indeed, but at least he's picking up these hourglasses a little bit more, or at least trying to deny him in some way. Xron still has that totem in his back pocket. He's been up for a while now. Oh, it may have caught him there, but looks like Xron was more than ready for it. This is what I mean. He's always in position to have a get out of jail free card. He's going to drop down from that tri-bolt. And Tox now just circling around, going to go towards rockets. And he is taking a lot of different routes and changing his patterns. Oh, he's trying to be very aggressive with those rockets and does hit another. He's got to try and back away as soon as physically possible, as the heavy will be up in the next 12 seconds. And it's now Xron's turn to try and be a little bit more aggressive. He is ready. Oh, that was be so tight, but Heavy's up next 5 seconds. Will Xron to get there in time? He does, but
oh no!
Tox now on 24 HP, looking to scarp away as soon as physically possible. Will he be able to? Looks like he backs away again. My heart can't take this here, boy.
Oh, this is 10 seconds until the end of regulation. Tox hanging on by a thread. The Mega knowing way better than to try and even test for that. Instead going back to the Heavy, but now he's stuck. The machine gun comes out, and this is a terrible situation for Tox. How is he possibly going to fight himself out of this one, Lethal?
Oh, I think he may have done it. One more rail should hit it, but Xron doesn't want to take the risk. He had time and had the health to make the repeat, but looks like it's going to go a different route once again. Both these players are just being very conservative. Of course, there's certain risks you can take. I could have thought Xron could have maybe hit one more. Maybe he didn't have the ammo management. I'm not 100% sure, but this is back to Tox on 49 HP.
He's living on a prayer. Yeah, 74 HP, no vision, nothing in sight. Can't stay for the blood pool healing. As Heavy goes to Xron, finally Tox getting a little bit of armor and getting that vision. And he's so concerned he pops it immediately to try and gauge exactly where Xron may be attacking from. Early rocket, somehow that rail will miss. Tox wants that light armor really bad. Here comes Xron, he wants to end it right now. LG on LG as Tox able to fend him off. Almost gets a rail. Drops down to another light armor as he makes his way to the Heavy. The Mega will be claimed by Xron. And Toxic actually battling back on this one. Needs to be very careful. This could be a terrible position. Tries to get the line of sight for the rail. Will miss. Will Xron try and test this Heavy?
That rail was so important. It's going to be a detriment there for Xron. He uses the 44 with the tri-bolt. Not going to try and rocket jump as of yet. He sees a little bit tempted there after the 70 from the LG, but he may have caught him in. Just give it a time to get that first smoke, but he's going to keep him at bay. He's going to look for that rail shot, but Xron's not giving him the chance as Tox at the same time picks up the Mega. Still in deep trouble. He could drop, not going to drop as of yet. He's going to pick up the next slide above. Now looking towards going through that TP. There's so many chances for both these players, but it's just been so risky for them at this stage.
Oh, when he misses the jump for more rails, he's going to double back and grab the Heavy armor, but Tox, he wants that railgun. He wants to be able to hit long range. Tries it again. There it is, and Xron is waiting. He'll miss with his rail. This could be really bad, Lethal. Chase doesn't come out. Measured play from Tox here as he doubles back and gets the vials for the vision. This should be free damage, and he misses with the rail conversion after a little string of lightning. But more importantly, able to stay on top of these major items. Look at the stack from Tox. Surely it's just a matter of time before Xron goes down. He has to hug the ropes. He has to have superb, perfect defense right now.
We've been saying that for the last 12 minutes. Oh no, he's got the jump pad. This could be a time for him to get taken down. Will he be able to hit this fellowship? He jumps the totem, managed to just barely get away. And he picked up the light. Is he going to go for Heavy? No, he's not. He's just baiting out of it once again. Dear him. This is probably one of the longest 0-0 games we've seen in quite a long time. Thompson just trying to hold that angle with the plasma, but no, he's not going to go through. And Xron is just not. The problem is for Tox, but Xron is just not falling for any of the traps or baits he's making. But that rocket will definitely give Xron a tiny bit of leeway. Pierce's sight comes out again, just continuing to deny his hourglasses later on once it's been used. And he knows he's still down and knows it's just going to be hiding for a little bit. And now backs away, going towards the next Heavy. Hits that rail. Mega's up in the next 10. So if he approaches him mid-fight and get that Mega, that could be huge here for Tox.
3 minutes into overtime here. Again, map number 3. Whoever takes this will proceed onto the lower bracket to fight more. The loser, unfortunately, makes their exit. Great rail. Trying to look for another one. Tox trying to fight his way out of this sticky situation, trying to get across. There's the vision popped. Xron just waiting, locked in. There's a shoulder peak rail that'll miss. Heavy's up. Could be a bait here, as it's dangerous for Xron to make the cross.
Xron knew as well when he was Ferrari picking back. Oh, that was a lot of tri-bot damage. Both of them are so weak. Xron isn't available, but Tox Needs to be careful when he goes for this heavy, but Xron just decides to leave it. I think just taking extra caution around the decisions he wants to make. They're both basically just looking to play the long game, but that's an understatement at the moment. We're 4 minutes into sudden death, still no frags at this stage. Both items perfectly in sync, so neither player's going to get full control for a while unless one of these guys GAs the items and then straight afterwards, or maybe just try to delay it a little bit further. Both are just trying to rail back a few missed shots from both these players. They're all going to do too much damage here, but it's slight deficit in terms of the stack department. Goes for the heavy straight afterwards now, and in terms of items, it's almost equal. Oh, he's trying to use the LG just a tad, but it's going to drop down again. Know that Xron is definitely going to try and go for him. Careful with his totems underneath also, but tries to use some of his rockets, gives him a bait, does a lot of damage, but he's going to charge it straight through. He finds some of his rockets, really about to try and survive. Both of them are so weak, and oh my god, literally by the skin of his teeth, using the piercing sight once again, gets the light, it's going to head straight back to the heavy, and now it's going to be a neutral, but Xron still trying to do some damage, and finally, after passage.
my heart, I'm just making noises over here. I'm a fat man, my heart can't take it, but if we do hit the 35-minute mark, I will call myself Beakstradamus, but it doesn't look like it as Xron is backed up into a corner. The rail up close will miss as Tox did not expect him that close. Trying to hunt, trying to play off the sound cues. Fantastic drop rail from Tox. We'll have vision up shortly as well. Items are about in sync. Is he going to try and push this one? He's going to allow Xron to go get the heavy. He's going to trade out for the mega, and we do the dance again, Lethal.
Certainly do, but Toxjq a bit more aggressive this time with heavy machine gun, but takes the first rail, second, no, he doesn't even try and go for it. He knows it's going to be a bit of a step over the mark here. And this is the problem, with the items not that segregated that far, you know, no one's going to get full item map control and try and at least be the aggressor, or at least make a standpoint. And Toxjq now just playing a little bit slow this time and finds him. Oh, he hits that rail, so important. But again, both these players are really weak. Toxjq continuing to deny the hourglasses once more. Mega's been up for a little bit of time here, but if the heavy gets picked up straight away, which it does, then again, you know, neither player's not going to have full map control for quite a while. 6 minutes and 15 sudden death in. The first rail does go to Xron. I don't think he expected he's got the pierce in sight, but will he be able to hit that next one? Yes, he does. Looking to a little bit of heavy machine gun, does back away, needs to take extra caution though, but this offensive and defensive balance from both his players is just perfect so far.
So much patience from both players. No vision, trying to live off of light armor. Luckily it spawns for Tox. Good timing on those items. Xron from up above trying to do some damage. But again, the items might get traded. Xron, he makes the decision for the mega. Tox is actually under in the column, stuck. Can he make his way to the heavy in time, or is Xron going to take full control of the map? And it looks like Tox has to concede.
Yeah, he had to. Like, Xron had height, he had the a slight stack advantage to a certain degree, but just knew that he was not in position to do it. He didn't have positional advantage at all whatsoever. It's still 7 minutes into sudden death. Remember, for one of these players, whoever wins continues in the elimination bracket, and whoever loses, that's it. That's their tournament lifeline done in the Quake World Championships. Toxjq hits that first rail once again, going back to his usual spot now, just to see if he can get another angle. Misses the first shot. Will Xron try this back? No, he does not. Heavy is up, and this is where the item segregation is going to be quite heavy for the first time in quite a few minutes, and using that tri-box to do a fair amount of damage. Finally picks up, he should be jumping down the stairs at this stage, depending on this LG battle. Xron was hoping that it would drop down and catch him a little bit more and do some extra damage, which he has not. Mega's up in the next couple of seconds here. Xron, I'm assuming, is going to be trying to go for it first, which he does, and this is where Tox is going to try and get another decent angle. That was a great first shot, great second shot. Looking for the third, will he be able to do it? It looks like he's still looking, takes out one turn and realizes he's directly underneath him, but the rocket just barely misses.
What year is it? 20-minute duels? What year is this, Lethal?
2004?
Oh, missing with that rail. That was a layup. That one is going to hurt, but Toxjq still able to claim the heavy, as this is absolutely batshit crazy. 0-0, both players fighting for their tournament lives. No mistakes can be made here. Around the corner. Nice little damage there, but the mega will be picked up. And again, Tox making the jump to the rail. Nice shot from the side, catching Xron off guard, but can he follow up? The pendulum swings back and forth for both players. Up the jump pad, that's a freebie. Xron using that totem to heal back up after that damage. Tox dropping down into LG. Is he going to cut off? He's trying to set the perfect trap, but Xron, so elusive. And Toxjq, to be fair, on the back foot, just as elusive. Both players defensively playing lights out right now, as they have to.
Yeah, Tox has been playing the battle of attrition for like the majority of his matchup, but there's been times where Xron has had a slight advantage in terms of stack, and again just couldn't take advantage of it either. There's now 9 minutes into sudden death, another piercing sight, and I love this. Most of the time he uses the piercing sight straight away, not just to his advantage, but just again denying the hourglasses for those totems. And this is the problem for Tox. He needs to continue to be on his toes. If he's not fully aware at some stage, he can't let Xron get this overstack. As I'm just quickly switching across, and he does have the overstack and a totem in his back pocket to keep himself alive.
Gorgeous movement from Tox. And at this point in the game, I mean, this is pure just stamina at this point, right? Like, some players at this point just want to try and push in and say, I want to end this. This is going on too long. But when your tournament life is on the line, you have to pick the perfect opportunity to go in and commit and bet your tournament life on it. Both players showing so much restraint right now, knowing exactly what's on the line. It's a gorgeous thing to see.
Oh, lovely tribal damage from both these players. It's the first round. It's drop down. Tox expected it, but now he's the one who's available. But Xron knows that Heavy's going to be up. He's going to hopefully, for the sake of it, wait for Tox to go for it, but instead he just backs away. So he knows that Tox is just going to wait out until he goes back round. Xron, of course, still got to overstack. Tox probably does realise this, but he hasn't pushed around that bottom mega, or the mega area in general, for quite a long time. As Xron does hit that first rail, realises that he's going to go back around. That would have been a huge rail for Xron, but again, too much damage from the Tribal. It's going to push him all the way back as he's using the piercing sight to watch him go towards the line. That was great. 71 from the last Tribal. It's going to watch him push on forward. Misses that last shot, but so does Xron. So go for the heavy. Is this going to be it? No, oh, he does get the heavy, but it's going to keep him alive. And finally, Xron gets the first and the last frag. 10-minute 40 sudden death.